Hello, everyone, and welcome to 3D Workers Island. This is not technically a game, really. Here's the thing. I fell into a Petscop hole for the last week, and I've been watching so many videos about Petscop. And it's so fucking cool and so awesome. And so when I saw that the dude who made Petscop made this and it was on Itch.io, I was like, sold. I I need to experience this. I have to. So for if there's anyone who watches this and doesn't know what Petscop is, holy shit, go look it up. Please. There is not a way for me to describe it to you. There's just not. But this 3D Workers Island is basically, from what I gathered, a horror story hidden in screensavers. So it's sort of more like a visual horror story rather than like a true game. So, I don't have any specific like trigger warnings or anything, but just know that this is categorized as horror. It's supposed to be pretty disturbing. So, I'm just warning you now. I don't know anything past that. I've avoided videos and everything regarding this. So I'm going in pretty much as blind as possible. So we have like an old Internet Explorer screen. Uh what is 3DW, whatever, is a freeware screensaver. The full title is 3D Workers Island, but most of us prefer to use its file name instead, pronounced 3D Whisker. Oh, fun. Can I? Oh, I can. Go back. Oh shit, was that? Oh shit. Did it? Oh my god, what have I done? Oh, I can just click back. Oh, fantastic. Okay. In 3D Workers Island, 6 characters interact on a tiny island with complex and unpredictable results. Every session tells a different story of the island. Many have found it to be compelling on levels both technical and emotional. T2's top software gave it a 10 out of 10 score and wrote about its characters. You'll find yourself relating to them and understanding them. They may even confound you and anger you at times. The original source of the program is unknown. It was discovered at 3D Screensaver's Palace, one of many aggregates of screensaver programs appropriated from sources across the internet. The owner of that website, by his own admission, sourced it from a similar screensaver aggregate and could not recall which one. It has not been found. See the history page for a history of 3D Whiskers, right? Discovery and spread, as well as development of this website. We recommend trying 3D Whiskers yourself by downloading it from the download page. The events that occur in 3D Whiskers are not scripted. They unfold dynamically, and every session is different, which means you are guaranteed to see things that none of us have seen before. If you discover anything interesting or important that has not been recorded here or discussed on the forum, feel free to send us an email or create a thread on the forum asking about it. But please do not treat this as a place for tall tales. Check out the overview page for more detailed introduction. 3D Whiskers discovery pages were created by me, Pat Lawler, or P. Lawler, and the technical side is largely run by Singer. See further info on the contact page. So I can't like click on any of this stuff. You literally just like, it's already like predetermined slides essentially, from what I gather. Like if I click on characters, it doesn't choose that. So now we're just on the download page. The 3D Whisker installer can be downloaded using any of the links below. It's a 4.22 megabyte download. This is a Windows executable file and is only compatible with Windows operating systems. Run the installer and follow the steps on the installation wizard. Afterwards, if you're running Windows 95 or later, you can configure the screensaver by right-clicking on your desktop, choosing Properties, choosing the Screensaver tab, selecting 3D Workers, blah, blah, blah. If you run into any trouble, create a thread on our forum and somebody's sure to help you out. Okay, you have chosen to download a file from this location. So save this file to disk. cool. So it's saving. Download complete. Why am I so nervous? I'm already so nervous. I also have no idea if there's going to be any sound. I feel like there's not. And I'm like so scared that sound is going to like come on and scare the fucking bejeebus out of me. So I'm like turning my volume way down just in case. Welcome. This installation program will install 3D Workers Island. Thank you for installing my program. Press the next button to start the installation. You can press the cancel button now if you do not want to install 3D Workers Island at this time. Okay. Installation completed. If you enjoy 3D Workers Island, please spread the word online. It would be much appreciated. Also consider reading the README text file because it includes a lot of interesting and useful information about the screensaver. Okay, I was like, I hope it opens it. Okay, 3D Workers Island is an experimental 3D simulation screensaver for PCs with advanced worker simulation. Okay. Change settings. Available settings. Escape to quit. Adjust the detail level of the 3D models. Adjust the worker simulation rate. There's 6 characters on the island. Their names are Amber, Holland, Pat, Joe, Grace, and Rebecca. To find out who's who, reference the character card that appears on startup. Workers are an approach to computation. 3D Workers Island takes advantage of resources in the world. Welcome to the world in the computer. This technology, I guess we skip it. Okay, so setting it as the wallpaper. 3D Workers Island. Pat. Rebecca. Rebecca looks like a chef. Joe. Amber. Holland. And Grace. Why does Grace look like she's facing away from us? Oh. Okay. Here we are. I already forgot his name. He's just walking. Watering the flowers. Okay. This is fine. Okay. Another person. I'm like trying to keep an eye on things. Oh, hello, world? Okay. Hey, I just want to say that this thing is so cool. My eyes are glued to it. I'm mesmerized. I just want to keep it on all day and see what's the people are up to. But my brother needs a computer for his work. What do y'all think? And what's happening on your island today? Okay. Yeah, it's a hidden gem of the internet. It kills that Johnny Castaway thing my uncle thinks is so good. This is better because the people are like real people you're watching, and you never know what's going to happen next. I've seen dancing and squirming, the baffling games they play with objects, the awkward intimacy that looks like hugging sometimes, and other times looks, pornographic, frankly. Agreed. Holland just put her face inside a tree. My avatar is trash cans. What of it? Yeah. Oh. What the fuck is that? Okay, we're having a cookout. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. What the fuck is that, dude? Okay. Oh, we're putting it in the water. I also do notice that this character is still, like, facing away from us this whole time. Oh, took it out of the water? Okay. Oh, God. Are we just playing with it? What are we doing? Okay. Yeah, what is going on here? Are we zooming in? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing this? Okay, you gave him a burger. Sick. This character has not moved. Okay. Ew, that's so gross. I don't like that. I think it's great, but it's buggy and just weird. My roommate keeps talking about how he could do it better. I'd like to see him try. He couldn't even program the turret in our tank game last semester. What an idiot. My ma hates TV, but she tells me to put on the virtual people. I put 3D whiskers on the projector and she squints quietly in her recliner for hours. Peace for me. I don't like that. I like to keep it running in an alcove of my house and check up on it as I'm passing through. It's good for that. It can surprise you sometimes. The other day, I saw Joe take a remote-controlled helicopter out of the house and fly it around. I've never seen that before. I keep hearing the stories about this thing, but so far, it's boring. I don't get it. I want to know what you guys are doing, because I'm just starting up the program and watching it and nothing is happening. The people are standing around, sitting around, looking around, walking around. They don't have faces, so I don't know what they're feeling or thinking. I don't know. What's going on here, guys? Which characters are you talking about? You know, some people have worked hard enough in their lives to deserve a rest already. No, but seriously, what do you mean? I see plenty of activity on the island. I do feel a twinge of annoyance when I see a character like Amber sitting around. I want to tell her, hey, you're young, do something. Is that the one that keeps sitting and facing away from everything? Also, I see that it says the administrator has the same, like, laying down image that we had. Actually, it does become entertaining over time. You just have to keep watching. I think you'll be surprised by what you see. But you do have to be kind of open to it. You have to be cool. Be cool, and things will be shown to you. Personally, I love this screensaver. It's so fucked up. Okay, what is that? Like a mixer? It looks like a mixer. Character is still not facing us. Oh. I didn't like that slide where oh. What are we doing? Stop doing that. I don't like when they start facing, like, the screen directly. Oh god, what are we doing? Okay, we just spun around in a circle. Sick. Oh. Oh, love a pop-up. Many different kinds of colorful 3D shapes appear one after the other. Okay. This is 3D cave. Oh, so these are like different screensavers? This program goes above and beyond its predecessor by generating its mysterious caves on the fly. 3D Cave 2 has you exploring an infinite, realistic cave world and occasionally discovering surprising secrets and treasures. Real and spooky sound effects will make you wonder what is around the next corner. Keep watching for long enough and discover every treasure. What will you find? What will happen in this place? Requires a graphics accelerator with OpenGL support. An island with people walking around on it. Okay. We're mowing. We're mowing. Sick. I was like, are we gonna mow over the flowers? Don't do that. Hey, where are we going? Uh-oh. Oh, okay. What is this strange screensaver you stumbled upon? The only way to really understand 3D Whisker is to try it. Works best without words, but I'll give you my best overview. When you start 3D Workers Island, it will display its 6 characters and a helpful character card that gives you a name for each one. Afterwards, you will be placed in front of an island, and you will mostly remain on that island until you decide to stop the program. Characters are powered by a kind of AI technology that the authors refer to as worker simulation. It is clear from single observation that this tech should not be taken lightly, but just how advanced this AI seems to be is an ambiguous and controversial question in the community. It's very much a matter of intuition at this point. At the very least, it is good enough to capture the imaginations of many. Okay. Whatever is happening under the hood, it is taxing to any PC. The program seems to be fluid in this way. It will use whatever resources are provided to it, but can make do with just about any system that is capable of displaying the 3D graphics. Impressive or not as technology, you'll find that this is a program of broad and infinite possibilities. Since retiring last November, I have been keeping 3D Whisker running on the desk at my study, in my bedroom, my living room, my kitchen, and my basement, all running around the clock as I do my household tasks and live my life. What I see on each of these PCs throughout the day is still continuously fresh and novel to me. It makes my home into a very pleasant little world. You will notice that the island is quiet. 3D Whisker does not play audio, unlike what you may find in the After Dark products and similar entertainment-based programs, but very much in line with the default package of screensavers in the Windows operating system such as 3D Maze and Mystify Your Mind. The significance of this silence is considerable. It allows the island to disappear. Despite its heft, it's also light. There's a sense of ghostly transience, that none of it is really happening, and it can all vanish with the flick of a mouse. Okay. Cool. Oh, don't do that. Oh god, what are we doing? Okay. Hmm. This is for my son's island project for first grade, which took second place in the contest. I'm proud of him. Okay, I will admit he mostly played Pajama Sam. Oh, Pajama Sam fucks, dude. While Mom and I built the island, but he did the written part of the assignment himself. Anyway, here are the photos. That's adorable. Glad your son's school is teaching him about islands. Your living room is disgusting. Oh my god. LOL. You did a good job with the island. I have some advice. You should not do your son's work for him. Do not let him get used to the idea that you will do his assignments. Take it from a fellow parent. True. Okay. Thanks, appreciated. But they were expecting parents to help with this one. You should see what the other kids brought in. Anyway, he did the written part, as I said. My son doesn't like 3D Workers Island one bit. It scares him and he makes me turn it off. Kids are afraid of everything. My wife and I rented a tape of The Page Master to watch with her niece, and unfortunately, we got to the moment where Macaulay Culkin's in the library and gets overtaken and drowned in rivers of paint, and suddenly the tape went nuts and became unreadable. Her niece started screaming. Now she's afraid of getting drowned in paint and turning into a cartoon. I don't blame the people who made that movie for making a terrified Macaulay Culkin character get drowned in paint, but some kids really do think it's possible to get swallowed up into a cartoon prison where they can't escape. And hell, if I believed that, I'd be afraid too. Okay. Oh god, don't creep. Why are we... What is happening? Oh, you're with someone. Oh shit. What is happening? Okay. God, installed on my school's computers? Why would you do that? This happened back in October. In detention, they had me sit in the computer lab where I ostensibly wasn't allowed to play on the computers. LOL. When my computer lab teacher was in there upgrading Office and I showed him 3D Whisker and explained it to him. I swear he was like enchanted by it. He wanted to install it on all the computers, so we installed it on all the computers together while eating donut holes. We had some problems, and I had to call my sweet and angelic mummy. Why is that so funny? To tell her while I was still at school, but we eventually got it working after 7 p.m. We turned off the lights and started going on every computer in the room. It was a powerful experience. Just all these different things happening on the island all around us, on glowing screens, in the dark and silent computer lab at night. Way better than 3D pipes. Felt like this was the way 3D Whiskers was meant to be experienced. I recommend putting this thing on as many screens as you possibly can. That feels bad. What were you in detention for? Oh well, dress code violations mainly. I also invented a fake skin disease called cutilacune, and I started incorporating it into some of my written assignments in English and history, even when it had nothing to do with anything. Okay, I'll bite. Tell me about cutilacune. I'm glad you asked. Skin disease with 4 stages. Redness and sensitivity, holes or gaps of various sizes, exposing dermis. Eh. Skin islands, widespread loss of epidermis, leaving only a number of skin islands of various sizes. Recession of the islands, leading to complete loss of epidermis. Early stages can be treated and reversed, but stage 3 is irreversible. Stages 1, 2, and 3 are consistently rated 10 on the 1 to 10 pain scale. Screaming and hair pulling and despair. I would literally rather die. Oh my god. I can't. Oh, I can't think about that too hard. Jesus Christ, that sounds horrible. Oh, there's a wheelbarrow back there. And the doll thing is back? Okay. Hey, what is that? What do you have? A rock? Oh no. What are we doing? Okay. Why would you click away? It was getting crazy. Favorite character. Who's your favorite character? Amber. No question, Amber. Amber's the answer. If I had to choose a favorite, tough one. JK, it's Amber. Fuck everyone else. I'm offended that the question is even being posed, but I understand. You don't know any better. You're better off this way. I know we're not supposed to talk about those topics here, but can we at least be honest when it comes to questions like this? I'm not going to pretend my favorite character is Holland or Grace or somebody else just so things can stay clean on this forum. Can somebody fill me in on the joke here? What's wrong with the other characters? That's what I'm thinking. Like, why is everyone so unanimous? Amber would be a good choice, and many have been mine, but I am sometimes put off by her lazy tendencies. Naturally, I would choose Pat, since by coincidence we share a name, and I believe the 2 children are hers. Another coincidence as I also have 2 daughters. However, I cannot help but feel attracted to Rebecca, with her eye-catching red hair and shoes. It's a difficult question. Hmm. Hmm. I don't like this one bit. The fact that it says they share a name, and that the 2 children, also a coincidence, because he has 2 daughters, and talking about Rebecca. That's too many coincidences. There is something not good going on here. Amber, motherfucker. Why are we so zoomed out? I don't like that at all. Oh, what are we doing? Okay. Okay. They're part they're a part of windows everywhere we see them, and anyone could be looking in at you. That's a part of what makes them scary. But windows are even scarier when you're the one who looks in them, because when you never know what you'll see in them. Remember the enthusiasm in a market for a window into reality in 1996, as the Nintendo 64 broke once lore project reality. Of course, the TV screen is really a window into fiction, and not reality. The only real window of reality is the one we looked into as a baby, and still cannot turn from. What called the common story theme of falling into asphalt imagery, we bring the inside into the outside, and the outside is the place we are stuck looking. This is the only meaning of I'm trapped in the TV. When we find out that reality is the thing we look into. But what does that mean where we are? What happens when something bad you find responsible for is there, and you do nothing to stop it because it looks through a window and is not real? I'm trapped in here, and I may never return home. What do we mean? Uh, I. Where was I? Oh, it's just the bottom. Okay, I thought this was more. Okay. Island. Oh, we're on an instant message now. I only gathered a little bit of that. I'm gonna be so real. When I read out loud and I'm in like a playthrough or something, it is a lot harder to like absorb things that you're reading because you're worried about like reading it out loud rather than like soaking in the information. So I probably didn't gather as much of that as I should have, but we continue. Not Edward sucks. What happened to Edward? Wow, tell me more about that. So I was with my cousin last week for Thanksgiving. Since last year, they live a 3 hours drive away. It got late, and he took me down a dark trail and scared the piss out of me by talking about ghosts and murderers. In a quiet moment, I thought I might change the subject, so I started talking about the 3D whiskers of apropos of nothing. Turns out he knew about it, which caught me off guard. I love that face. And he carried on with the exact same tone as when he was talking about torture killers a moment earlier, but now talking about 3D whiskers. As if telling me about a conspiracy or something. He went on about the girl in the pink shirt and gave me this long list of ominous things to pay attention to in the screensaver. Oh, he's one of the Amber shitheads. Those people basically took down that old Discovery Pages website a couple years ago. Ruined a good thing. Yeah? Anyway, when we got back, we watched 3D Whiskers together until 2 a.m. on the slowest, crappiest computer in the world. We watched until suddenly the computer froze completely. But he told me it wasn't really frozen, that actually 3D Whiskers does that on purpose in order to hide things that are happening. I don't know. He was making things up on the spot. But I think they still meant something to him. Ooh. Okay, so I almost don't want to ask this at all, but ugh, I keep hearing certain implications about this screensaver that I don't want to repeat here. But you probably know what I'm talking about. I think maybe it's supposed to be a joke, but if so, I don't find it funny at all. Can somebody give me some more info about this? Turn back now. Don't go any further. Stop. For your own peace of mind, stop this line of inquiry now and do something else. Don't become another one of us freaks. Seriously, I wish I could go back to enjoying this screensaver normally. I want to be a normal person again. Please, God, let me forget. There are links that can be provided. If you really want them, I can send them to your email. Just let me know. I'm no coward. Here's the link. Go ahead. Enjoy. Yeah, that's not gonna last very long. Oh, we're floating. A lamp? Oh God, what is happening here? Oh? The windows of my living room, covering the walls with wide views of my front and backyards, fill the room with light during the day and an air of vulnerability during the night. My brother crashes here. He sleeps on the couch against the back windows. Sometimes we sit together, looking out those windows, and tell stories about the house beyond my backyard. A man lives in that house with his 2 sons. The curtains are closed, and we imagine our own childhood replaying itself behind them. It's just a stupid game, really, making up stories about the neighbor. I think of it as a way to bond over past experiences. Somehow we get emotional about it anyway, but not emotional enough to do anything. Because, of course, it's a stupid game. There's no point in worrying about those children based on feelings and intuition alone. Still, we both find that our dreams become more vivid with time. Where was it? There it is. Lately, we've grown exhausted of that game, but I recently downloaded 3D Workers Island. Plays on a PC in the corner of my living room. You should check out this program. It's a screensaver, which means it only starts when you aren't using your computer. But when it starts, you're on an island. There are people around, but they don't do much. Not when they're outside, anyway. Naturally, you wonder what they might be doing inside the windowless red house in the background. That's when things start to go wrong, when you start wondering that. And now we begin another game. As in life, concern begets more concern. The reality is always worse than you think it is. No matter how much you learn, it's always worse. And the only escape is to stop asking, to stop digging, and stop learning. This is your chance to stop. Oh boy. The preferred resource for all things 3D Workers Island is called 3D Whiskers Discovery Pages, created and maintained by Pat Lawler. It covers everything a reasonable person would want to know. You should browse her website first if you haven't already, because it's quite good. But Pat Lawler doesn't see what we see, or chooses not to. I've created a different kind of resource. Here, I take your sightings and I display them for the benefit of others. Together we play this game the way it's meant to be played. Welcome to my website, inside 3DW Whisker. Or 3D Whisker, my bad. Beyond here are themes of violent abuse and torture. Continue if you can handle that. Is this where it, like, starts getting real? Oh. Okay. Got, like, a cup and a water bottle? Okay. Okay. I removed your link because it breaks the following rule. Don't post links to the website. You know the one. It is nothing more than a collection of perverted creative writing prompts. I would not usually be so strict about something like this, but clearly there are too many here who cannot stay reasonable and sane while discussing the content of this particular website. So I must make the hard decision of banning it. You can guess what I think about this topic, but let me try to explain the phenomenon occurring here. The fact is, many internet users are children and young adults, and children like to play games. What this means is you'll occasionally find yourself unknowingly pulled into the games played by children. On the website, you'll primarily find stories told by kids to scare other kids. You will also find so-called analysis of these stories that treats them as true fact, to give them legitimacy. But there is no evidence to be found here. Hope I've cleared things up for you, buddy. Oh, God. Okay. I had to take a sip of water. Shut up, Pat. Anyway, more links. Good info about John Sorroway. Stories of reality. Thank you, P. Lawler. Well said. Those violent stories are cheesy and over the top. Blood and guts. Believe me, I've been watching this program for so long. I would have seen such things by now. If the screensaver won't open up to you, maybe you need to look within yourself to find the problem. You'd love to think that it's all just bloody, screaming children. Long before I began seeing the violent shit, I saw the way Amber was treated by the other islanders. I saw her tiredness. I saw her subtle messages. But you can just point at the bleeding children and laugh. All right, then. Why is it always Amber who gets abused and killed in these made-up scenarios? Don't get why this community has an obsession with torturing her specifically. You're all freaks and sociopaths is my best guess. Maybe I should create my own section for dealing with 3D whisker hoaxes. Snopes.com has a good system for these. Oh, ratings key. True, false, multiple truth values, undetermined, unclassifiable veracity. I would give every one of these stories the red sphere of falseness. False, false, false. Good question. People have a strange amount of concern for Amber. It's a mystery to me. Jesus fucking Christ, that website. The screenshots and pictures on there are insane. Some of them are obviously straight up out of Photoshop. Others I don't know. They're all low-quality JPEGs for what it's worth. Makes it easy to hide flaws. Okay. Oh, we're walking into the wall. Also, my cat's here. Sorry if you see her tail. Do not turn to face me. Thank you. Welcome to Inside 3D Whisker. Here you'll find the content missing from P. Lawler's 3D Whisker discovery pages. Her website should be your source of general information about the screensaver, but come back here when you're done. Pick a category on the left and browse our collection of user-submitted sightings. Download 3D Whisker and let us know what you find by submitting a sighting. Thanks for visiting and telling us your stories. I'm receiving so many emails about this Sam Ferrero business, though there's not much contention in whether the screenshots of Amber's rare black shirt is real. There's a lot of disagreement about whether the pictures on her shirt is really of San Ferrero, since it doesn't exactly match any of the known publicly released photos of him. I've expanded the section to include some of your comments. On the subject of photos, I've removed a user-submitted photo from PJR Pin at the request of its original owner. I'm planning on overhauling the category soon. More details to come. Added a link to Grace's guilt. Great quote. Lucky for that girl, her story became an urban legend. Most people don't believe it really happened, but they are fascinated anyway. A perfect disappearing act, the real transforming into fiction. Now she lives her disgraceful retirement in the remote world of a cartoon, but reality will haunt her conscience forever. Added some more user submissions to worker degeneration. Added an avalanche of screenshots to strange faces. I can't believe people are walking into the bathroom at night and seeing these things. Making this website has convinced me never to run 3D Whisker after bedtime. Thank you, P. Lawler. No sounds, no faces. Wrong on both counts. Hey, don't say that. Hey, maybe don't say that, actually. That's scary. Falling behind on emails. Sorry, everybody, but pray for my brother because he's been having a hard time lately. He's in the hospital now. Sometimes you've been broken in ways that don't hit you until decades later. I expect my turn to come soon. When that day comes, my brother will be alive to support me. But for now, let's go. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, I fear that's not supposed to happen. Oh, I fear that's really not supposed to happen. Oh, no. Okay, PJR pin. The PJR pin is one of 3D Whisker's first popular sightings. The letters PJR stand for Pat, Joe, and Rebecca, 3 characters on the island. When these 3 adults approach Amber in the following formation facing her, it's called a PJR pin. Amber is in the center of the formation. The PJR pin isn't complete unless all 3 adults are close enough to prevent Amber from moving, or in other words, to pin her in place. This is a very strict and specific requirement that is not met often. Formations in this particular shape are uncommon between any 4 characters. When they do form, they're spontaneous and brief. They'll usually reorganize themselves into more stable circles, or rather diamonds like this. Why is the PJR pin significant? According to the stories, it triggers the following sequence of events. All 4 characters disappear instantaneously. The world is replaced with darkness. In that darkness appears a photograph of a child in clothes that resemble Amber's pink stripes. She's sometimes injured, sometimes not. An audio clip of a young woman's scream, or multiple screams, play from speakers. It's usually interpreted as Amber's voice, but sometimes as the voice of an off-camera witness. The world reappears. Pat, Joe, Rebecca, and Amber reappear at the front door of the house one by one. Amber is the last to appear. No evidence of the event remains. That's... Can you fucking imagine just downloading like a fun screensaver and you don't read any of this? Like you're just not into like reading these websites or doing any digging. You literally are just like a casual enjoyer of the screensaver. And then that happens. Oh, I fear it would kill me. Like on the spot. I think I would die. Oh, it would scare me so bad. Okay, most accounts miss the first 3 steps in the sequence. It's only when they hear the screams that they start paying attention to what's happening on the screen. 3D Whisker doesn't officially play audio, but many stories report sounds. They usually describe a very loud or very quiet sounds, like screams or whispers, with little in between. We have a page just for whisper-related sightings, most involving Amber's pleas for help. Much pride is taken in the skill of recognizing these whispers as quickly as possible, since they often precede other events for which screenshots are desirable. No whispers precede the PJR pin, unfortunately. Photographs are also a common theme in these sightings. 3D Whisker appears to have a heavy preoccupation with a real world, and in particular with real human bodies, from living and healthy to mangled or emaciated or dead. In this case, even when Amber doesn't display any physical injuries, her transformation into a human body is often interpreted as an act of violence itself. In general, any movement between fiction and reality, in either discretion, is treated with an undertone of terror. I was like, where did we go? It's kind of hard to, like, keep track of this. Descriptions of the photo vary. It may be that people are seeing the same photo and remembering it differently. It's not hard to believe that a disturbing and sudden scream is shocking people into seeing or remembering injuries that aren't there. But it's also possible that 3D Whisker displaying different photos of the same girl at varying levels of injury, perhaps dependent on the context of the simulation, as Amber's plight has been shown to progress in severity over time. Who is the girl in the picture? Until we have a legitimate screenshot, we have little to go on, and this one has proven challenging to capture. Okay, had quite a fright. He writes, I'm never running it overnight again. Ever again. Holy shit, it woke me the fuck up. I've never been so scared in my entire life. I was asleep and then an ear-splitting scream. What the fuck? P. Lawler lied to me. Her website says that there's no sound in the screensaver. Well, guess what? There's sound, motherfucker. Ashley B. heard it too and caught a look at something interesting. Ashley writes, because it was the last thing I'd ever expected to happen in 3D Whisker, I'd come to admit I was jolted and shaking for a good hour afterwards. I knew the discovery pages were wrong about other things, but somehow this one thing I trusted. And well, my volume was turned up quite high, so it was already something else. I only got the shortest glimpse at the screen before it reverted back to the status quo. It was dark, but I saw the dim shape of a human, realistically proportioned, dressed in pink and white, like Amber. A photograph, I think. It wasn't moving. Harold has an uglier description. Ah, it was bad. Oh my god, lol. I can only laugh now, but I'm done with this screensaver now, for real this time. I think it one scream repeated 3 or 4 times, or maybe it was more than one scream. And the image was a tasteless... Oh no. They're in a formation, but I don't see Amber in the middle. Okay. Oh. 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 She's back up. I hate how it cut off that other article. Oh my god. It's getting worse and worse. The more I watch, the more I notice, the more I understand, the more bold it becomes with the things it shows me. Every time I come to some new revelation, the screensaver shows me more. But most other people don't see these things. And if I have someone in the room with me, they don't happen. Are you telling me P. Lawler, with the 10 billion hours she's been watching 3D Whisker, hasn't seen any of these things? Getting dangerous in here, lol. Pat Lawler is a criminal. I have family who used to live down the street from her. Nobody in their right mind would trust Pat Lawler. Pat Lawler shouldn't be allowed to run a 3D Workers Island fan website. She should be in prison. Anyone who wants details is free to message me. I'm GoodKid85 on AIM. Well, I want to know. Damn it, good kid. Ha 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 ha. And he's banned. That was fast. P. Lawler is always online. She reads every post the second you submit it. You cannot evade her. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, I want to know what's happening behind the house so bad. They keep... Oh, hello? Wasn't that the icon that was on the screen of the computer? Oh, hey, I'm scared. Oh, hey, I'm scared. Okay. I am so terrified of, like, a jump scare sound effect. Okay, 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 okay. My heart had to stop for a little bit. It's fine. Worker degeneration. Update 4/24/99. I've decided to stop posting new submissions to this page. This is one of the most well-documented sightings, and at this point, I'm receiving mostly redundant info. Thanks for everything you've sent in. Worker degeneration is something akin to injury or damage. This damage is associated with an active entity, which 3D Whisker calls a worker, hence the name of this page. It's not clear to me how this term came about. It wasn't invented by 3D Whisker's authors, yet it implies a bit of knowledge about the screensaver's internals. That the injury is associated in some fundamental way with the underlying worker concept. This is especially strange since the only documented cases of worker degeneration are tied to one character, that being Amber. Therefore, it seems premature to generalize this term to such an extent, but I'll use the established name. If you've ever seen a red amber, you've seen worker degeneration. Okay, I definitely haven't seen that. Ooh, compression? Oh, I don't like that at all. Mm-mm. The red ball is seemingly inert. It doesn't move or interact with anything, but yes, the red ball is amber. So that's confusing. This state has been interpreted as representing dehydration, malnutrition. Wow, that was hard for no reason. And or mutilation. And the many photographic sightings seem to confirm all of these interpretations equally, but most of all, it's become associated with small, muffled screaming, and therefore with pain. It doesn't take long for this red ball to start shrinking and quieting down, until sooner or later, it can't be seen or heard anymore. Amber will usually respawn from the house at some time after compression, even while the red ball is still visible. The program will eventually continue as usual. Okay, falling into asphalt tells us a story. Letting the screensaver go longer periods has unlocked something, and now I'm seeing all sorts of funny shit like a red amber. She goes in the house, comes out redder, goes behind the house, comes back redder again, comes back weird and slow, crawls around until pop, she's just a ball on the ground that everyone ignores, and that's that. Nathan Manfield kept the screensaver running all day and writes, I went away for 8 hours. When I got back, there's a bunch of red spheres scattered around and making noise. Altogether, it sounded like a chorus of dissonant humming. Now I'm wondering just how long my dog had to listen to that shit. Thomas, how many of them are sitting at the bottom of the ocean? Oh, wait. Do we remember in the wheelbarrow back when it looked like red stuff? It wasn't literally like little red balls, but I remember distinctly there being like 3 like red shapes. I just can't help but feel hopeless about everything. Nobody will ever help me, and I'll never help myself. Too afraid even to reach out. I'm not even writing this right now. This message exists only in my head. This whole website exists only in my head. 3D Workers Island? What is this? Would I really put this online? Would I really give anyone the slightest glimpse into my world? This is fake. This is all fake. And nobody will ever see it. To Thomas, I hear you and I understand. Suffering in silence is such hard work. I don't like that, Thomas. I don't like that. We're looking around. Oh. Ooh, I don't think that's supposed to be happening. Recession of the Islands. Oh, see, I told you it was red balls in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and there were 6 characters, right? Oh, they're sinking. Oh, they're sinking. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, I don't like that at all. Oh, I don't like that at all. 3D Workers Island, a thing by Tony Dominico. Is that it? Is that it? Oh my God. So that I when that person was like, "Oh, I wonder if they're like how many are all at the bottom of the ocean?" That's what I was thinking with the wheelbarrow. I was like, they were dumping them into the ocean. I don't know. It was very chilling to watch the island get farther and farther away, just smaller and smaller until it looks empty. Hmm. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, that was Three Workers Island. Tony Dominico, the genius, truthfully. I definitely think I'm gonna have to watch some videos and maybe read stuff online about what exactly was going on here because the hypotheses in my mind are probably not correct. Like, I'm thinking that Pat, especially because, yeah, one of the characters was also named Pat, had two children, and then she was talking about how attractive she found Rebecca and stuff, and how one of the characters was like on a computer and stuff right after saying that like Pat watches everything and Pat is always online and stuff. Like it felt like that was happening in the screensaver. And it feels like that kid who got banned and stuff too, saying that Pat should be in jail. It implies a lot here, but I don't know what is or is not, you know? It's hard to know. Yeah, and that's it. Like I'm clicking and nothing's happening. Okay. So, like I said, that it not necessarily a game per se. I'm still gonna like kind of post it as like a let's play. Cause I mean, it's kind of like a visual novel without any choices. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely visual novels out there where you don't necessarily make any choices and it's basically just like a story with images. That's what I consider this at least. So, I mean, in my mind, it's sort of just a visual novel. But that was a lot more words than I thought there were going to be. I thought it was literally just going to be images and I was going to have to like watch really closely and see things only with images. But I am kind of glad that it has like a fourth wall breaking element really where it has the AIM messages and the websites and like a whole community that like we as the person are a part of and are watching and reading. It's very interesting, and I think I'm only gonna like it more when I watch videos about it and read stuff about it, and I maybe understand it a little bit better, but I purposefully ignored and didn't look up anything about this. I wanted to go into it as blind as possible. I didn't want to spoil anything for myself, and I am glad I did. But yeah, I mean, this is very different, I feel, than kind of what I usually do. I usually play like games, and this is more just like, just kind of like a story. But I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it on my channel anyways. And I'm gonna fall into a hole now. I'm gonna do some crazy digging and see what's going on. Because, you know, at least if you watch me play this, read this, you know, you probably didn't gather much more than I did. I mean, maybe you did. I don't know you, but maybe you did, maybe you didn't. And now, if you're curious, it's not like I necessarily gave you the whole rundown and the whole what's what. So now you can go find that yourself too if you feel like it. Hey, before my outro, this is Magnus from later. Same day, just later. I watched some videos about this and read some stuff. And I'm not going to explain the whole story because that would take me another hour, I fear. And also, this isn't really a video where I explain everything. It's just like me experiencing it, you know, just a gameplay, you know? Like, this isn't like an analysis video. So, this is not the place you want to be for a complete rundown of the story, but I just wanted to come on here and say that I was right when I said that if I read more about it and sort of like looked up the story a little bit more, that I was going to like it more. I already really liked it, but now I just like it more. And I'm sure I'm going to be thinking about this for like days, maybe weeks to come. It's just one of those things. And oh my God, it's like it really is even better than you think it is once you let it marinate a little bit and once you read other people's takes and watch videos and stuff like that. It just like it gets so much more powerful, I guess, because the story that's unfolding in it is so heartbreaking, I think is really the word. And a lot of the stuff that I sort of theorized as I was going through it is, at least in my mind, correct. Again, I'm not going to go through everything, but kind of what I was saying with like Pat and her two children, and I was like, those are too many coincidences. Yeah. Uh, obviously. But other stuff that's happening, it's like there's stuff that I theorized in my head that I kind of just had confirmed now, or stuff that I didn't notice. But like there can be many interpretations of many of the parts of this story. So even a lot of the things that I'm thinking, maybe you guys won't think the same, because that's what kind of a well done story can do in this sort of regard. It is, first and foremost, a story that has hidden things, but as you uncover those things, it really starts to bare its teeth, I will say. Yeah, if you do want like a breakdown or an explanation of stuff, there are videos. I just watched Izzy's video on it. I'll link it down below. Izzzyzzz is just an awesome channel in general. But she just did a video on it. Really good. And I was reading comments on that video and like Reddit stuff. So go ahead and look that up yourself. I would recommend kind of experiencing it for yourself first, or, you know, watching my video like you did if you're here. But yeah, just wanted to chime in and sort of give an afterthought before the video ends. Because I just was like, there are things that I need to say now that I'm not actively experiencing it, and now that I've had the time to absorb it a little bit more, and I will continue to absorb it. But yeah, back to outro me. Thanks for listening. Sorry it's kind of different. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. If you want to stick around and watch me like play actual games and stuff, that's what I do on this channel. So go ahead and subscribe, especially if you're watching this whole thing. I don't know why you'd watch me in like silence, reading all of that and like looking at the images and stuff. You know, why not subscribe? Come on. It would mean a lot to me. Otherwise, you can go ahead and like the video if you liked it, share it with everybody and everybody if you so choose. And in the meantime, before next time, go check out Petscop if you haven't. I'm like begging on my hands and knees. I'm telling it like everyone I know about Petscop. Like even people who don't give a shit, okay? Petscop. Look it up. If there are any games that you want to recommend me to play, feel free to leave those in the comments. All of my socials are down in the description if you want to follow me on anything else, as well as I write and voice a audiobook. So if you like fantasy, vampires, gay people, it's got it all. So that's down in my description as well. Otherwise, that is really it. Thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.